Hi all, let us understand the classification of bacteria based on oxygen needs, that is oxygen requirements. Now, in this classification, we have got important categories. For example, first one is the strict or obligate aerobes. Now, I personally call these bacteria as nagging or nakhrebas, meaning they want to have oxygen always, always, always. They will die without oxygen. So, these nagging or nakhrebas bacteria can be remembered by remembering the mnemonic nagging, pests, must breathe. Like kids crave for chocolates, these crave for oxygen. They have to have it. Absolutely. N should remind you of two important names, nocardia and Neisseria. P should remind you of Pseudomonas. And the most important pathogen in the genus Pseudomonas, which you should remember, is Pseudomonas aeruginosa. Now, aeru means air, genosa means to generate. This word itself will help you remember that it's an aerobe. Then M should remind you of Mycobacterium tuberculosis, that is MTB. A confusing point about this organism is that it is a facultative intracellular organism. Sometimes students confuse it to be a facultative anaerobic organism, which is wrong. It's a strict aerobe, right? And it's a facultative intracellular organism. Now, facultative intracellular means it has got the faculty or the ability or the luxury to survive inside as well as outside the cells. Then B should remind you of two B's, not BB ki vines. The two B's are names of two important bacteria. Now, B also means both means two. So, two important examples you need to remember, that is Brucella and Bordetella. So, nagging pests must breathe. Apart from all these examples, remember one more which is not part of this mnemonic, and that is Legionella. So, this is the very first category in this classification based on oxygen needs. Then the second category over here we have is those bacteria which are diametrically opposite to strict aerobes, and this category includes the category of strict or obligate anaerobes. Now, these fellows will die in the presence of oxygen, as their name implies. And for remembering the important examples, recall the most important and the most commonly used differential stain in any microbiology lab the world over, which is the Gram stain. And Gram stain helps us classify bacteria into two important groups, G plus, G minus, Gram positive and negative. Always stay positive in life. So in this classification, write G plus first, that is on the left hand side. You should write G plus and G minus on the right hand side. Now, positive is the gram positive bacteria appear blue in color. Remember, blue is a very positive color. So gram positive will appear blue on gram stain, and gram negative will appear red or pinkish. Red is a negative color, reminds us of bloodshed like in war and all. Okay, so this is how you should write this, and subsequently classify both G plus as well as G minus into two groups, Bacilli cocci. B and C, these are also in alphabetical orders. Okay, so we have Bacilli cocci on the left and on the right. Now remember, bacilli are also known as rods. They are like these rectangular bacteria, and cocci are spherical. Most of the cocci are spherical. Okay. But in this classification, you have to write bacilli and not rods, because we have to keep this alphabetical order of B and C. Now, finally, the examples which I want you all to remember from this is from left to right. Remember the name of a very famous micro textbook which you're not supposed to read for NEET, and that is authored by Sir C.P. Baweja. So we have CPBV, C.P. Baweja. C actually stands for, over here is Clostridium, and for us P is Peptostreptococcus, B is bacteroids, and V is Veillonella. These are the important names of strict or obligate anaerobes. Now I'll tell you one more important MCQ over here, and that is bacteroids. You should remember Bacteroides fragilis. This is the most common gut commensal. Okay, gut commensal. This particular species of genus Bacteroids, this is an important MCQ. So remember, the most common gut commensals are not the E. coli, they are anaerobic organisms, and amongst anaerobes we have got Bacteroids genus as the most common one, and in Bacteroids genus also the most common species, which is the most common gut commensal, is Bacteroides fragilis. So this is the second category. The third category in this classification is that of facultative anaerobes. Now, don't get deviated by their name anaerobe. They're not actually anaerobes by nature. By nature, they are aerobes only, which can survive when oxygen is absent. So, which can survive in the absence of oxygen as well. So, we can say that they have got the faculty. Facultative should remind you of faculty or a luxury or the blessing by God to turn anaerobic when oxygen is deficient or absent, right? Now, the most important example in this group is the members of the family Enterobacteriaceae. Now, Enterobacteriaceae family is a very, very important family of bacteria from which you get a lot of questions in NEET and all other exams. So remember, as a general rule, that most of the pathogenic bacteria are facultative anaerobes. Plus, we have got the genus Staphylococcus. Plus, we have got Listeria monocytogenes. Plus, we have got C. diphtheriae, Corynebacterium diphtheriae. These are few more important examples in this category. So we are done with 3, 2 more to go. The fourth one in this classification is microaerophiles. Micro means less, aero means air, phile means to love. So these are humble bacteria. Why they're humble? Because they're happy or satisfied with low concentration of oxygen. How much low? They need just about 5 to 10% oxygen for their optimum growth. Now, the important examples in this group which you should remember are Campylobacter jejuni and another bacter, Helicobacter pylori. So remember, both the bacters are microaerophiles. Another way to remember is MCH, super specialty degree. So MCH, M is microaerophile, CH respectively Campylobacter and Helicobacter. Plus one more important group, spirochetes. Spirochetes. Now in spirochetes, we have got 3 important genera. Belt, B-E-L-T. B stands for Borrelia. E for nothing, so I've written small e. L is Leptospira and T is Treponema. So these are the important examples in microaerophile category. Then we have, last but not the least, the fifth one, aerotolerant. बर्दाश्त करने वाले. किसको बर्दाश्त करना है? Aero is air, tolerant to tolerate. So I personally call these bacteria as they are not so strict anaerobes. When I'm saying they are not so strict anaerobes, that should tell you that basically they are anaerobes only, but how they are different from strict anaerobes. Now these fellows can tolerate oxygen for some time, but they don't use it. Okay, but they do not use it. The important examples in this group, in this category, you should remember are Clostridium histolyticum and Clostridium perfringens. Okay, H and P. So this is about the classification of bacteria based on oxygen needs. Hope this video helps you. Any doubts are welcome.